Hi guys, so this is Teacher Abby. Okay, once again, we are continuing our study about American history. Okay, starting from Puritans, okay, they moved from England. So they left England and they moved to a new continent. And they became completely independent from England. So they wanted to worship God and they did not neglect to make laws to live together. Okay, let's go. Okay, as we saw on the map, okay, America started with 13 states on the east north of America, okay? More people moved to a new continent and they needed what? A new land. Okay, in America, looking at east side, you might see slums oh, around Boston and Europe. So yung slums, yun yung mga kung nasaan yung mga taong may hirap, slum area. But to the east lay a much more beautiful sight. Vast field, deep forest, and soaring mountains. So, napakaganda. So, that's on the west side. But on the east side, slum area. Directly west of the original 13th state lay a Midwestern territories. After Revolution, Britain had given US all of the land east of Mississippi. The 13 colonies now states had agreed to divide the land. Okay, divide the land into territories. When a territory had the same number of settlers, okay, as a state, it would be allowed to join the United States. So, if they had a same number of settlers, they were allowed to join the United States. So far, two states had been decided. So the first one is Tennessee and the second one is the Kentucky. Okay, the rest of the land still lays three territories. You have the Indiana, Northwest Indiana Territory or North, and second is Northwest Territory, then Mississippi, Indiana, Northwest, and Mississippi Territory. So there are three territories. Then Thomas Jefferson, who had become the president in 1801, bought Louisiana Territory from who? From Napoleon. So he bought Louisiana from Napoleon. Now, the US states had even more western land. So, lumaki na, stretching out far beyond. Lumaki na siya far beyond the Mississippi. And then Jefferson wanted Americans to build farm across all of this land. But before he could send settlers out of the west, he needed to know what was out there. Okay, what was Mississippi land really look alike? Okay, really look like out there on the other side. So he needed to discover it. So Jefferson, hired two explorers. Who are there? Lewis and Clark, okay? So they travel across the Louisiana Territory and map it out. So they had to make they had to know the places, so they map it out. At first, the journey was upstream, okay? Upstream, the men had to wade in river. So they had to wade in river and had to pull the heavy boats using the ropes. So those they met also Indians, American native Indians, who helped them, translate their languages, help them in their journey. It's like a tour guide. So mainly it focuses more on their exploration. So they became friendly with them, and then it helps them, from it helps them away, of course, from the mosquito. They warn them about those ones that's very dangerous to their places, okay, because there are mosquitoes and there's river snakes around it. They're now in North Dakota. So American tribes really helped them a lot. Okay, so they were mainly one of the explorers, okay, who helped them. So it helps them their job more well done. So that's the other help of the Native Americans. They're very friendly with them. Okay, it wasn't last time that the party was or would be in danger. So last time, sabi natin, in friendly relationship. So they're drawing closer to danger. Why? Because now they're drawing closer to a rocky mountain. So before it's in the river upstream, now they're drawing closer to the Rocky Mountain. If they finally cross the Rockies, okay, they would finally be across the continental divide. They call it continental divide. In the continental divide is the ridge. Ridge is a long area of land that is on top of a mountain or a hill. So imagine that it's a long area on top of a mountain or a hill. So the continental divide is the ridge that runs down the middle, okay, middle, kalagitnaan, middle of North America. Both sides of the continental slope up, okay, to the divide. If a rain falls, remember, if a rain falls from the east, okay, east side, it divides, it rolls down, and then it goes headed into the Atlantic Ocean. So east side, when the rain falls into the east side, it goes to the Atlantic Ocean. But if a drop of rain falls an inch, on the other side of the divide, okay, it rolls down and it goes going into the Pacific Ocean. So it reaches Pacific Ocean. So if the party could get across the continental divide, they could find a river and then sail down it all the way to the coast, or the harbor. The party climbed and climbed until they reached the Rocky Mountains. Finally, the party came through the mountains and found themselves at a river. So tapos na ng Rocky Mountain, they found a river flowing, okay, west side. So they're flowing west side. They at last had crossed the continental divide. Lewis and Clark, I mentioned before, they're the two explorers, had met dozens of Native Americans who are they friendly with. Okay, they had discovered new plants and animals. Okay, and then they had written, of course, the description of each animal and plants, and had drawn a detailed map. Okay, had drawn a detailed map of their own route to west, or route of west. Soon the settlers would begin to follow this new path that Lewis and Clark had blazed into a distant, okay, place of the west. So it is in a distant land of the west. Soon the settlers followed them. Okay, Jim Marshall had spent, okay, years in the wild places in US or United States. He'd been born in New Jersey. So Jim Marshall, who had been born in New Jersey, but he'd struck out for West while still a young man. So he traveled there as a young man in the west of New Jersey. He walked over to the river's edge and stood looking around. And then Marshall bent down the river and tried to touch the glint, okay, the glint from the river. His finger closed around a pebble, and then it caught his eyes. So the pebble caught his eyes, the glint, okay, caught his eyes. Half the size and shape of a pea. So ganun kaliit yun, liit lang. So half the size of a pea from the river bend. Okay, he lifted it up and the water ran across, out from his palm. Okay, and then the pebble was what do you think? A pebble glint. Ano ba yung nagiglisten, ba yung nag-spark? Ano yun? Yes, a gold. So the pebble was the color of a gold. The mill workers collected the gold bits. So because they discovered, the mill workers, okay, collected the gold bits and took them to the local trading post to sell and to have money. Okay, use it for money. A few miners went up the American River because they discovered about that one. And then they find gold and return to San Francisco and find bags of treasure. So bags of gold of treasure. Okay, golds of treasure. Okay, a few hundred more arrived Then a few thousand followed, hundred and thousand. So they were discovered slowly and slowly. Okay, by 1849, everyone in the US knew about the gold at Sutter's Mill. Because California was a territory, anyone was willing to travel California could drive a stake. Ano ba yung stake? It is a post wherein they could grab it. So, i-claim nila na sa kanila na yun. Post na a stick or anything para maging sa kanila yung land na yun. So, they could drive a stake into the ground and claim empty land as their own. This was called now staking claim. So I told you before, it's like putting a stick or a post in land and then grabbing. So aariin na nila yung land as their own. So staking claim. Thousands of people raced to California, okay, to stake their claims and down the river of the American. Okay, so they're now on staking claims. But the possibility of finding gold, okay, a huge gold deposit, okay, drew attention to miners all over the world. So they came from China, England, France, Germany, Spain, Italy, Portugal, and Sweden. So all over the world because they heard about the Sutter's Mill, about the gold. Okay, all along the California rivers, men whose countries had been at war, they ran elbows with each other, meaning they worked closely to each other for the mining camps. So, yung mga dati magkakagalit, ngayon nagkakaisa dahil sa pagmimina ng ginto sa Sutter's Mill. In 1850, California and its lowest mining, okay, camps became part of the United States of America. So, it became part of the United States of America. The California was the 31st state, okay, to join. Remember, California became the 31st state, okay, to join the Union. And then in 1850, it was the richest state now in America because of that gold. Okay, America starting in the eastern with 13 states. Remember, America starting in the eastern with 13 states. Now extend beyond Mississippi River and Rocky Mountain. So 13 states, Mississippi, and Rocky Mountain. So vast land na sila. Okay, and it is a huge land to meeting. Okay, in meeting from Atlantic Ocean to the Pacific Ocean. So it's a vast land. From east going to west. Atlantic in east going to Pacific Ocean to west. Okay, there was a lot of difficulty in occupying this land. Okay, there was a lot of difficulty in occupying this terrible land. It has a threat. Okay, there were many threats, but they have challenged it. There are so many threats, but they have challenged it. Okay, they met a big bear. Okay, they met a big bear, got cold and starved. So imagine those ones, big bear, cold and starved, and they had difficulties of all they could think of anything. Okay, and then the hope of digging gold mine turned into greed. So naging ganid sila, turned into greed. Another thing is that for Americans, okay, the land was a new land. It was a new land, but there were already a native people living there. American history seems to show a miniature of human lives. So, sanga-sanga at maliliit na buhay ng mga tao. They first crossed over the new continent, to praise God. They were close friends with Native Americans. They were close, okay, and enjoying new challenges. But of course, they have shed people's tears. So they have shed people's tears in order to get a new land, or the land of America now. Okay, so there were so many challenges they had to face, and then even the tears of many people. So next week I'm going to tell again more sad stories. a people, okay, a story of people who sacrifice themselves, okay, to make US a big nation. Okay, let's go next week. See you again.